Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Kaitlin, and today we are going to be sitting down, getting cozy, and getting our journals ready for the month of December. So I'm going to be getting organized in my bullet journal here. This is the Bullet Journal Edition 2 notebook, which is a collaboration with Leuchtturm. I have it linked below if you're interested, along with all the other supplies I'll be using, and with all that stuff, I'll be setting up all the spreads that I need to get organized and also, record all the lovely memories that are probably going to happen in December. So, let's move the tea over and get started, shall we? I first marked down when I'm going to start my setup, just so that I have a couple pages reserved for the rest of November, since I'm filming this on the 22nd, so it's not yet December. And we are just gonna dive right into this December setup. So I'm gonna be going in first on the right page and making my quote page, and then the left page, which is kind of my cover page, as well as my vision board for the month. So let's just do that. This setup is pretty similar to how I plan every single month, but I find that for me, I like to keep my setups pretty similar. I don't love to do monthly themes. My version of monthly themes right now, or just kind of the way that I like to add theme or variation to my months, is by making different vision boards for each month, and that kind of acts as a way to make each month look a little different without me having to brainstorm up a monthly theme, just because I don't really love doing that, to be honest. So this is a nice kind of happy medium that works well for me. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going in and I'm stamping chapter 12. Oh wait, I don't stamp it over there. Good thing I did this in pencil, because you can just erase your mistakes, which is really nice. And I appreciate how forgiving that is. All right, let's try that again, shall we? So I'm going in and drawing my header, which is 2 lines that I do about 8 squares down. And then I stamp the title, chapter, and then the month that we're on. So December is the last month of the year, so it's chapter 12. And then underneath there, I do like to go in and write a quote. And then the right side is kind of the fun little visual that changes every month, and that is my vision board. So that is what this page looks like. It's pretty simple, but I find that it kind of offsets the more busy vision board well, and I decided to do a really simple and incredibly insightful and wholesome quote for this month. I celebrate Christmas, and I guess the whole theme for this year is kind of me getting excited for Christmas. So the quote that I chose is from Home Alone, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal," and it just puts me in the festive mood, Just gets me excited for all the Christmas movies, the Christmas cookies, and all that stuff that I really like to do during December. So now I'm going to take my journal, I'm going to set it aside, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out my vision board, which looks like this month. I'm just going to cut this out with a paper trimmer. But while I'm cutting this, let me just explain how I make my vision board in case you are new. So essentially, I go into Canva, and I take a, I don't know the size, but I'll put it on the screen, canvas, and I collage all my pictures together, which I find from Pinterest, and I arrange them 15 different times until I like the way it looks. I usually try to only have 2 columns of images, and I try to arrange them so that the darker ones and the lighter ones are kind of evenly dispersed throughout the vision board. Then what I do is I export it and I put it into Lightroom, which is a free app on the iPhone, and using my own preset that I created, I essentially just lighten the entire photo as well as warming it up a bit, just so that it looks the way I want to and all the photos are kind of consistent in their tone and their lightness. And then I try to cut it out straight. That's, I guess, the hardest part of this setup, I would say. And here's the vision board all cut out. If you're curious what these images are and what they mean to me, pretty much this month I wanted to create a vision board that just kind of got me excited for Christmas and the holiday season, and just kind of, instead of focusing on what I wanted to achieve, just kind of focusing on enjoying the final month of the year, kind of taking it in, reflecting, relaxing, and not like trying to squeeze in 10,000 last minute goals. So I have cookies, because our family makes like 8 different types of cookies and puts them all in tins for all our friends and family, so that's a big part of my December. Hot chocolate, because I'm drinking an obscene amount of that right now because it's quite cold in Canada during the winter. I have this photo of the outdoors because we like to go on lots of winter walks. I have this photo of a journal because I'll be setting up my 2022 bullet journal, which I'm really excited about. And then I also have this photo of 3 members of the cast of White Christmas, because my mom's favorite movie in Christmas time is White Christmas, so it's kind of a tradition that every year we watch it together, and it's something that I really strongly associate with the season, so that's why I have it in here. So essentially, I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna paste it on the right hand side of my journal, and I'm just gonna count out the boxes so I can make sure it's centered. All right, so that is in case you're curious. Here was last month's vision board. So the spread looks the same, but I always find that just changing up the vision board totally changes up the feel of the setup without requiring a lot of effort on my part, so I really like that. So we have kind of the cover page done. Now I'm gonna go in and set up my monthly calendar. This calendar is a pretty standard layout. Essentially what I do is I make a 1-page calendar on the left side of the page, just using my pencil to make the grid and then writing out the numbers with my pen and stamps. And then on the right side, I just stamp the word events. And then later I go in and add any dates, appointments, and other stuff that I have going on, just so I can have a nice overview of what happened in the month after the fact. And what I always do when I'm writing the calendar is I always bring my phone here so I can reference when the days start and end, just so that it's easier and I'm not messing up my calendar, because when you write in pen, you only get one go. You only get one chance. And this is what the finished calendar looks like. So we have the calendar up top. I don't actually write things in this, like in the little squares. Actually, you know what? I'll show you. Because I already know that for me, I know we're celebrating Christmas on the 25th. So I'll go ahead like this. Mark any days with events with a horizontal line and pencil, which I like to do because then it can be changed if the date changes, and then I don't just have to like cross it out and make it messy, because I like to try to keep things as clean as possible. And then I'll write the event here, and then I always like to leave the bottom as a space to record the moon phases of the month. I just like to keep it separate because I view it as separate information, and it's just something cool I like to record, so that goes here. And then all the other stuff, appointments, personal stuff, all that goes right here. So now we're about halfway through the setup. I have 2 spreads done, and I have 2 more spreads I like to make. This one, which is my habits and tasks for the month. And then the last one is my notes page, which is just a catch-all section, and my 1 line a day page. So that is the next 2 I do after these. But focusing on this spread first, pretty much what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set up my habits on the left side and my task list on the right side. So last month I actually called this section rituals, but I think I'm just gonna write habits this time because I don't know, it just seems easier, even though it's I think the same number of letters, but whatever. We're just gonna do habits. In my title, I always make my titles like this in case you couldn't tell. And I like to set up my habit trackers so that they are really easy to make and don't require a lot of work in the setup part. So I don't do any of those like boxes or calendars, just because I find I don't like to spend that much time on it. Instead, what I do is I will just write the name of the habit and do the dots, which I'll show you in a second how I do that, but I think it's the easiest way that I've come across to set these things up without taking 12 years to draw out boxes or make calendars and draw little circles and all that stuff. So this is how I set up habits that are something I want to do every day. I do put a dot for every day of the month, and it kind of looks like a mini calendar, and then I just go ahead and cross it off as it goes. But besides journaling, I don't have any habits that I actually want to end up doing every single day. So for those, I only do a dot for the number of times I want to do them, either in a week or in a month, so that I'm only kind of having things to mark off based on the ideal amount of times I want to do them. I actually got this idea from Plant-Based Bride because I saw that when she made her habit trackers, she only set up areas to check off based on how many times she wanted to do it. And that made sense to me because then you're able to see how much you are able to do compared to how much you wanted to do in the beginning, versus having, you know, something like my finances, which I only track once a week. Having a whole month for that wouldn't really make sense to me because it would look like I'd only done it 4 times in the month, which doesn't look like a lot, but I don't want to do it every day. So having just one dot for every week of the month works just as well. And then it's able to show me if I did it every week of the month, since that's how many times I would want to do it anyway. So for finances, I just have one dot for every week of the month like this. For working out, I like to work out 4 times a week. So what I do is I mark 4 dots like this. This is for week 1, this is for week 2, this is for week 3, and this is for week 4. And I just space them out like this just so it doesn't take up as much room on the page. And then I'm able to see how many times each week I do it, which is also helpful information for me. Same with reading. I like to read ideally 3 times a week. So I go ahead and put that in the same way I did my workouts. Alright, so for my task list, I look at my calendar. I look at the first Monday of each week. The first Monday of each week that falls in December, so I don't include this week since this would be the first week of January. And then for this week, I just include 1 because it's like the first day of the month. So we have 1, 6, 13, and 20. And essentially what this does is it is a structure of list called an Alistair method list, where each column under this number is like a column where you can put your task signifier, which is a bullet, for if you want to do the task that week. So let me give you an example. So I do my laundry every week. So I'm going to put 1 under each of these weeks. And then write, I don't know, put away laundry. And I just like making lists like this because then I don't have to write this down 4 times, even though I have to do it 4 times during the month. And it allows me to schedule it in, which is just easier for tasks like this where it's reoccurring more than 1 time in the month. I also know that I will probably be wanting to wrap my presents this week. I'm pretty last minute when it comes to present wrapping, if I'm honest. And if you do celebrate Christmas or any other sort of holiday that involves gift giving, let me know if you are a kind of early wrapper or a late wrapper. I will usually wrap my presents a day or 2 before Christmas because that's just what I like to do, you know, embracing chaos and all that good stuff. So for something like that, I just mark it on this week, and then it's just a lot easier to have kind of an idea of when you're doing stuff what week, instead of just having this giant list and then having to look at it and think about, well, when you're gonna do stuff. It's kind of already thought out for you, and you can kind of just log stuff in, so you're not having to do all that work at the beginning of every week when you're already trying to like brainstorm all your tasks and like trying to remember everything. All right, are you still here? We are on the last spread. We'll see what post editing me does, but one of the reasons why I wasn't sure if I would do, oh, come on, focus. There you go. I don't know why I kind of sound like a pirate there, but anyway, one of the reasons why for my other videos I've been happy to do kind of just in-person talking, but for the monthly plan with me is I've hesitated from going away from voiceovers is these videos are a bit longer from a recording point of view, which means that I don't know how long this will be, but maybe people like long. I don't know. Who am I to say? So if you can let me know if you like these kind of talkative versions of this video, or if you'd prefer maybe a more concise voiceover, that's also way more helpful than me just trying to guess and figure out what you guys like. So if you have a really strong sway towards one or the other, definitely let me know. At the end of the day, I'm happy to do either. So whatever you guys prefer is honestly better for me. But getting back into the setup, right now I have like a giant collection of dirty stamps around me. And I have ink on my band-aids. I'm gonna need to change it after this. And I'm just going in and I'm making my notes section on the left. To be honest, I don't use this much, but I always like making it just in case you have something you need to write down. I don't know. I mean, I haven't used it for the past couple months, let's be honest here. So I'm gonna be breaking out these stamps for my next page. Oh, this page is done. I just do a header and then leave it blank. It's a notes page. I don't need to do anything else. But for this page, this is my one line a day page. Essentially, I'm going in and using these stamps for December, and then I go in with these stamps to stamp in 2021. And because this spread is always you know, just filled with writing, it doesn't have any decoration really, because there's honestly no room for decoration. I find just changing up the stamps is a cool way to add, you know, like a bit of decoration or visual interest, shall we say, without taking up space that I would be using for the one line a day, because this 31 day area takes up most of the page. The last thing I'm going to do here is add a tiny piece of decoration. I got these stickers in the mail today from Opal and Fern. This is probably my favorite sticker shop at the moment. I love her illustrations. Something about them just is so beautiful, and I don't know what it is, but they are my favorite. And I saw this little gingerbread guy in this sheet, and I thought it would be really cute just to add like right here. I just thought he'd be kind of cute to add. I mean, I feel like so much of my month of December is me just eating a ton of holiday food, because we do make 8 different types of Christmas cookies, and you can bet that I eat all 8 different types of Christmas cookies. So this guy just, you know, seems fitting for the entire thing. But sometimes I'll add a little decoration, sometimes I won't. It depends on the mood. And then this is what I'm doing now. I'm just writing the days of the month, 1 through 31, down like this, and then beside when the day comes. I actually usually write what happens during that day, the day after, and that's just pretty much, this whole section is taken up with writing. So that's why I like to keep this guy super blank, because while it looks really empty now, it will not be empty later, let me tell you that. This is definitely one of those spreads I just know already. I haven't done my migration yet, but I just know this will definitely be coming into my new journal next year. Alrighty, and I feel like I'm exposing myself. Look at this mess. Oh my gosh. Wait, I need to cover the stamp. This is why my ink pad is dried out, guys. But anyway, let's do a flip through of everything I set up today for this journal setup. Ooh, also, I mean, I'm loving the kind of brown carried over moment there. Love that for us. But we have our cover page and our vision board looking very festive. And of course, if you don't celebrate Christmas, this is my vision board. Feel free to do your vision board however you want. But if you do want to just use mine, it is on my Pinterest, which is Kaitlin Grey Loves Grilled Cheese. I'll link it below in case you want to just take what I did and print it out for yourself. But I really recommend to customize your vision board, your setup, your quote, everything like that based on what you love, so it makes you happy when you look at it every day. We have our calendar and events. We have our habits and our tasks. And then finally, notes and one line a day. And that, my friends, is the full setup and the end of this plan with me. So thank you so much for hanging out, chatting, chilling, journaling with me today. I hope you guys had a good time getting organized for the upcoming month, seeing how I'm getting organized for the upcoming month. And this is the last plan with me of 2021. Kind of wild, eh? The next one, well, no, not the next video, but the next plan with me will be the 2022 setup. It's very exciting. So lots of stuff is going to be changing up after this notebook when I start a new one for the new year. So stay tuned for that. And if you're subscribed, obviously you'll see the video when it comes out. But I also like to tell people on Instagram when stuff comes out. So that's also a good place to get information. And yeah, besides that, I hope you all have a great December, a great Christmas if you celebrate. If you celebrate anything else, I hope that whatever celebrations and traditions you guys have, that they're wonderful and joyful and filled with family and friends. And besides that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.